Have you ever had one of those moments? A moment so clear, so sharp, it cuts through all the noise you've been living in. For me, that moment wasn't a gentle awakening. It was a full-on collision with reality. I was standing in the middle of what used to be my living room. Now, it was just a hollow space, echoing with the ghosts of laughter and conversations I'd taken for granted. The sunlight streamed through the window, illuminating dust motes dancing in the air, and that's when it hit me. Like a punch to the gut, I was the one who had done this. I was the architect of my own ruin. It wasn't one big, dramatic event. It was a slow burn, a series of small, seemingly insignificant choices that built up over years. It started subtly. I remember telling myself little lies. It's just this once. I deserve this. No one will get hurt. I chose late nights with friends over early mornings with my family. I chose the thrill of a risky investment over the security of our savings. I chose my pride over admitting I was wrong. Each decision was a single brick, and I was unknowingly building a wall between myself and everyone I loved. I remember my wife, Sarah, trying to talk to me. Her voice, once full of warmth, had become strained with worry. She'd say, "Are you sure about this? It seems like a lot of risk." And I'd wave her off, full of a confidence I hadn't earned. Trust me, I'd say, "I know what I'm doing." But I didn't. I was just chasing a feeling, a high that came from getting my own way, from feeling powerful and in control. The truth is, I was spiraling, and I was so focused on my own reflection that I could unsee the damage I was causing in the real world. The first major crack appeared when I lost the money. Not just my money, our money. The money we'd saved for a down payment on a real house. The money for our kids' future. I'd put it all into some sure thing a guy at a bar told me about. When it vanished overnight, the silence in our apartment was deafening. I tried to downplay it, to promise I'd make it all back. But the look in Sarah's eyes told me something had broken. It wasn't just about the money, it was the trust. I had gambled with our life together, and I had lost. But even then I didn't get it. Not really. My ego was a fortress. I blamed the market. I blamed the guy at the bar. I blamed bad luck. I blamed everyone but the person staring back at me in the mirror. I retreated further into myself. The walls I'd been building got higher. I started avoiding calls from my parents, from my oldest friends. They'd ask how I was doing, and I could hear the concern in their voices. But all I heard was accusation, so I pushed them away too. It was easier to be alone than to face their disappointment. The illusion of control is a powerful drug. I kept telling myself I could fix it. Juan more deal, Juan more risk, and I'd be back on top. I'd be the hero again, but I was just digging the hole deeper. My job performance suffered. I was distracted, irritable. I missed deadlines. My boss, a good man who had given me chance after chance, finally had to let me go. I remember walking out of that office with a small box of my personal things, feeling numb. The world seemed to be moving in slow motion. I felt like a spectator in my own life, watching a movie where the main character just kept making one bad decision after another. The breaking point, the moment of clarity, came on a Tuesday. It was a completely ordinary day. I came home to find Sarah sitting on the couch, surrounded by boxers. She wasn't crying. Her face was calm, but her eyes were filled with a profound sadness. She looked at me, and for the first time in a long time, I really saw her. I saw the years of worry etched on her face, the exhaustion in her posture. She didn't have to say much. She just said, "I can't do this anymore. I can't watch you destroy yourself and us along with you." Her words weren't angry. They were just true. And in that moment, the entire fortress of my ego, all the excuses, all the blame, just crumbled into dust. It was like a dam breaking inside me. All the emotions I'd been suppressing, the fear, the shame, the guilt came flooding out. I looked around the room at the life we had built, now packed into cardboard boxers. I saw the empty space on the wall where our wedding photo used to hang. And I finally understood. I wasn't the hero of this story who had hit a rough patch. I wasn't the victim of bad luck. I was the villain. I was the one who had lied. I was the one who had broken trust. I was the one who had pushed everyone away. All those little choices, all those moments of selfishness and pride, they had led me right here to this empty room, to this devastating loss. It was a terrifying realization, but it was also a relief. Because once you stop blaming the world, You can finally see the path forward. I fell to my knees. I don't think I'd ever cried like that in my entire adult life. It wasn't for show. It was a gut-wrenching, soul-crushing confession. Not just to her, but to myself. I told her everything. Not the excuses, but the truth. That I was scared. That I felt like a failure and was trying to pretend I wasn't. That I had let my pride ruin the best things in my life. I finally admitted that I was the problem. I wasn't asking her to stay. I didn't deserve that. I just needed her to know that I finally saw it. I finally saw me. She left. And as much as it tore me apart, I knew she had to. You can't heal in the same environment that made you sick. Her leaving was the consequence I had earned. The silence that followed was the heaviest thing I've ever known. For weeks, I just existed in that empty apartment, surrounded by the echoes of my mistakes. But in that silence, something new began to grow. Humility. The first step was admitting I needed help. It was the hardest phone call I've ever made. Calling my dad and just saying, "Dad, I messed up. I messed up bad." The journey back has been slow. It's not a movie montage where everything gets fixed in 2 minutes with some upbeat music. It's day-by-day work. It's therapy. It's facing the people I hurt and offering sincere apologies without expecting forgiveness. It's taking a menial job to start paying back the debts I created. It's learning to listen instead of talk. It's rebuilding myself from the ground up, brick by painful brick. Some days are harder than others. Some days, the shame is overwhelming. But for the first time in a long time, I'm being honest with myself. I don't know if I'll ever get back what I lost. Maybe I won't. Some things, once broken, can't be perfectly repaired, but I'm not the villain of my story anymore. I'm just a man trying to write a new chapter, a chapter about accountability, about redemption, and about hope. The moment I realized I ruined my life was the worst moment I've ever experienced. But it was also the moment my real life began. Because it is only when you hit rock bottom that you can finally start to build a solid foundation. If you're watching this and you feel that same spiral, that same need to blame everyone else, please take a hard look in the mirror. It's the bravest thing you can do. And if you're struggling, talk to someone. You don't have to carry it all alone. Thanks for listening. Take care of yourselves.